7, Trey Sanderson. Number 9, Thomas Wheeler. Number 10, Josh Dumont. Number 12, Coda Dunfield. Number 5, number 15, Justice Bigstone. Number 17, Chad Morrison. Led by head coach Sam Tweeby. And now, the starting lineup for your NAIT Number 3, Jay Spinney. Number 5, Carter Hills. Number 6, Daniel Ward. Number 7, Jared Krogan. Number 9, Ross Bishop. Number 11, Felix Dufour. Number 15, Shay McIntyre. Led by head coach Jordan Taylor. I will now hand it off to the head referee for tonight's game, Greg Hawthorne.
And welcome to the NAIT Gymnasium as we are at the second half of a doubleheader volleyball session as the NAIT Ooks will take on the Northwestern Polytechnic Wolverines. Alex, I'm Ben Lowen and I'm here with
Alex McFarland. And what we're looking for here, as both teams went to 5 sets last night, we're looking for something to carry over. There was a lot of emotion, especially down the stretch. And so we're looking for these two teams to have a short memory and really put on a show, especially in the early going.
For those who didn't tune in last night, NAIT took the first 2 sets and then the Red Polytechnic took sets 3 and 4, which left it all up to the 5th. And NAIT was able to pull out the 5th set and prevent the reverse sweep.
And it will be, I believe, Northwestern to serve first, or it could be NAIT.
I believe it will be Northwestern serving first because they don't have the libero on the court. But look who's serving. The big server from yesterday, Justice Bigstone. He put up 4 aces yesterday.
He had one hell of a night last night, and they're looking for it to just carry the team again. But one thing for Northwestern is they got to cut back on their errors in the first 2 sets.
First swing goes to Shay McIntyre, and that is long for an error.
It was going for the back line. He was trying to paint that and just a little bit too much mustard. I'd like to balance it out with some ketchup.
And one thing about the team yesterday was that they were a little too high error. So if the Ooks are able to keep it down and swing smart, I think they can win this match in 4 or 3. And that will graze the antenna for a second hitting error from Shay McIntyre. Quite an uncharacteristic start.
It doesn't even look like he's playing that badly. It's just a couple of very unfortunate mishits so far.
And yesterday, Justice Bigstone, with his serve, was able to break apart the serve receive of NAIT at crucial times. And Shay McIntyre makes up for it.
3rd time's the charm.
On the season, Shay McIntyre is hitting 282, and that start won't reflect, and his start tonight won't reflect it. But I'm sure as the match will go on, his numbers will get higher to a season average.
Felix Dufour to serve. He came on as substitute yesterday and really was the key to unlocking NAIT's victory.
Creates a potential ace, but a free ball will be sent over. Spinney goes to Ross Bishop, and that's another hitting error. That is 3 hitting errors early in the set for the Ooks.
What adjustment would you like to see them make to reduce those hitting errors?
I think the Ooks are just trying to be a little too precise with their shots and are avoiding the wall's block. If they start going at it a little more, I think they'll find more success. And that's the first kill for number 3, Jay Spinney, the year 2 setter from Sherwood Park.
Lane Matthews just could not put enough steam on that to send over a free ball. And the Ooks right now here, this is what they have to avoid. In the 1st, 2nd, and 4th sets, they went down by significant margins. And even though they recovered to win the first 2, they can't keep falling behind.
And that's another error for the Ooks. One thing this season has been the amount of errors the Ooks can make, especially at unfortunate times. So let's see if they're able to keep their game clean when the match gets tight.
Josh Dumont serving now. He didn't have the greatest first set, but he really came on after that.
And there's the first service ace of the night, and it goes courtesy of Josh Matthews.
That's a much better start from Dumont, and he's looking to carry the momentum over from yesterday, even though they dropped the 5th set. They still have that momentum.
One common thing we saw yesterday was the Wolves getting out to quick advantages in the first set. It was commonly 5-1 and 5-2. And as we see, it's a 5-2 advantage for the Wolves in this first set.
Oh, what a smart play there to just put it right into the front where there was nobody around. They were expecting a heavy kill.
And that's a ball that should be easily brought up by the Wolves defense. We saw some great quality blocks and backcourt from these defenders yesterday.
It'll be McIntyre's serve here. That was a good block.
They'll go to Ward. Ward is just able to use the hands. They recycle the point. And Hill's first 2 swings have been done tonight. It's the longest rally of the match, and it will go to the Wolves.
And the Wolves yesterday had quite a few balls that went up into the rafters. It looks like they're doing a good job at timing the deflections just perfectly enough so that they fall a little bit shorter.
And on the season, the Ooks are hitting 306, but with the amount of errors right now, I think they're hitting negative. They'll be out of system. They'll go to Daniel Ward. Oh, and Daniel Ward is stuffed on the outside. It is a quick 7-3 start for the Wolves.
Again, the Wolves just looking to keep the energy going that they gained in the last 3 sets of last night's game. There was a really quick turnaround, and they want to keep that mojo intact.
Oh, and Carter Hills is stuffed as well. The block is having a field day with these Ooks hitters right now.
Now we'll see a timeout. We'll be right back. And the start that the Northwestern Polytechnic Wolves were looking for, as they have leapt out to an 8-3 lead, but they saw the situation before last night. Now they're looking to keep the momentum rolling as we see the serve coming from Thomas Wheeler.
Daniel Ward puts up a good pass. Oh, and that is another block. What do you think of this block party that the Wolves are having right now?
Right now, they're just having their way, and I think they figured that key out last night.
They have shut down Daniel Ward, Carter Hills, and Ross Bishop tonight, and those are 3 huge hitters for the Sioux team. And that is another hitting error. These errors are starting to pile up, as that is the 4th hitting error on the night for the Utes.
Certainly, the one thing that we were told is that they, in the 4th set there, they just went back to what they were working on in practice to come away with the victory. And I think that moment might be coming again at some point here in this match.
And the overpass is taken easily by Justice Bakestone. What do you think the Ooks have to do to change this? Because their momentum is completely with the Wolves.
I'd like to see them go for a little bit less power and try and really fool the Wolves front line.
Let's see if the Ooks can start mixing up their shots. And that is out. Is that the point that the Ooks need to take a little momentum?
Potentially, or to at least get some of their confidence back, because they have not looked like themselves here to start.
And that was just a little bit of a mishit from Chad Morrison, the 6-foot year 4 from Grand Prairie. He had an amazing night on the right side. And that will be a service error for the Ukes.
Northwestern is really doing a superb job of just figuring out what works best. And you saw it in their play as well in the first 2 sets last night. They actually played really well and maybe deserved a better fate. But they're just keeping it going.
And that was an amazing tip from Daniel Ward. I really like the change in shot selection.
As I said a couple of points ago, is they got to mix up their shot selection. They can't keep going for the power kills all the time.
The Ukes have 4 kills on the match as well as 4 errors, so they are currently hitting 0.
And back into the negatives, I assume, unless they don't count service errors towards that.
They won't count service errors towards that, but still they have 3 service errors and 4 hitting errors on the night. So that is 7 of the Wolves' 13 points. Take away those 6, it could be a lot different of a match. As the teams will exchange service errors from, I believe that was number 4, Caden Bennett.
And just the first service error of the night for Northwestern Polytechnic. If they can keep those service errors at a bare minimum, they are looking really good tonight.
They have a really good serve ace to error ratio as they are 1-1. And that one is paints the line for Daniel Ward.
They used the term Rembrandt, and that was as big of a Rembrandt as you'll get, just perfect paint on the line.
On the season, Daniel Ward does have 9 aces, so add him another one. He's in double figures. And that is out. The hitting errors are starting to pile up a little for the Northwestern Polytechnic as they're at 2.
And it was the similar script to last night, so what you're looking to do if you're the Wolves here is just find a way to keep your rhythm going and not let those last couple points get to you.
They're really targeting Kay Bennett in serve receive. And that was a really smart shot by number 10, Josh Dumont. Great cut shot.
They tried that a little bit earlier. I believe it was Lane Matthews who couldn't get it down earlier, but if they can keep going to that, if they can figure it out, then their shot selection will be really golden. They need that to mix it up.
And now the team's best serve, the Wolves' best server, Justice Bakestone put up a great serve, but that was an even better tip by Shea McIntyre.
And Shea's looking for better shots than what he got in the first 2 points of this set that just did not work out for him. That one really worked out for him.
Do you notice that the team started to switch up their shot selection?
Indeed.
Oh, and that was an incredible set from Lane Matthews. He was on his knees and he was able to get it to Thomas Wheeler for the kill.
What a kill that was. Just so subtle, yet so dominant.
And Lane Matthews is an incredible setter for this Polytechnic team. He was the reason that he was a big reason why they were able to go to 5 yesterday. Unfortunately, he just puts that serve long. And now going back to serve will be number 3, Jay Spinney. The Ukes are in their strongest rotation with the setter Spinney at the back in the backcourt.
Spinney was a little bit average last night on his service. He's looking for a better game here.
That's a nice serve. Oh, and look at that. Those are 3 tips that have gone down for the Ukes.
And Trey Sanderson was animated there. They still had a hit left, but nobody even moved towards that ball.
And I believe that should have been Trey Sanderson's ball as he is the libero. And Shane McIntyre is stuffed once again on the outside, and it will be a 16-11 Wolves lead.
And not happy with himself there, could not find the right positioning to get that over to the middle.
And a quarter of their points have come from blocks, as they do have 4 on the night. And Carter Hills is able to tool the hands for the kill.
The key to the Ukes game is going to be the blocks. If they're blocking well themselves and if they can use the Wolves blocks to their advantage. We've seen that theme throughout the year. If the Ooks can continue to do that, they'll be really good.
You'll hear us call Carter Hill's name a ton tonight. Oh, and another block on Shane McIntyre. The Wolves front line has Shane McIntyre figured out.
Indeed, and I would assume the Wolves have to be one of the better blocking teams in the league just by how dominant it is looking.
And on the year, they have 2.66 blocks per set, which places them second in the league. Well, NAIT only has 1.84. So the Wolves are showing their blocking power as Carter Hills is able to get it down for his third kill of the night.
This isn't an insurmountable lead. It's only a 4-point difference, and the Ukes showed last night their resiliency late in sets. So let's see if they can find some similar magic here in this afternoon contest.
And now Jeff Drieger, the year 5 libero from Calgary, will come in to serve. A nice stop by Shane McIntyre, but a free ball will just have to be put over. Where does Matthews go? He runs his outside. And he's able to get the kill for number 10, Josh Dumont.
Ward could have had a chance to save that, but he unfortunately just ran out of room. But it was otherwise good tracking, good awareness on that one.
And now serving will be number 17, Chad Morrison, who's been a great opposite in this weekend for the Wolves. And Carter Hills is just doing what he does.
Carter Hills thrills with the kills.
We will sound like a broken record tonight with how many times we call his name.
And he's going to serve here. His serve was pretty potent last night, we'll say that.
That's a nice little change up. And that creates the error.
Just a simple misstrike from Caden Bennett, who was looking for the cross-court shot, and it did not want to work out for him.
Carter Hill's toss was a little off, and he took some force off that serve, and it proved to work out for him. His serve creates the overpass, taken smartly by Dufour, and they'll go back to Hills, and he gets it off the hands.
Carter Hills right now is single-handedly turning this set around for the Ukes. They've clawed back to within 2. They were down by 8 earlier in the set, and that's going to force a timeout. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to the NAIT Gymnasium as the Ukes have been able to climb from a 6-point deficit and cut the game to 2. With Carter Hills is back on the line. He's at a 2-0 run with his serve.
That one just a little bit long for him.
And these service errors, in an article posted earlier for the Nugget, Jordan Taylor said he's fine with the service errors because he knows that his team is able to put him down.
Gonna see a little bit of a change here as Caden Bennett would be due to serve, but they want to bring in Joshua Watson for that purpose.
And Joshua Watson's a year 1 outside from Christtown, New Zealand. He was brought in a couple times to serve, and he also did get a little front row action in yesterday's game.
And as you pointed out yesterday, one of the greatest mullets that we are seeing in the gym tonight.
And that was just a little bit of a miss hit from I believe that was number 11, Felix Dufour. How do you think, Alex, how do you think Jay Spinney is connecting with his hitters right now?
It's a little bit out of sync. I would like to see if they can get a little bit better connection in the second set.
Oh, and Daniel Ward was trying to go for some hands, but he missed them.
That was a smart play by Chad Morrison, realizing the tip would have gone out of bounds and just letting that fall.
But combined errors, hitting and with serve receive, they currently have, let me count it, they have 10 errors on the night, which is very high for a first set. Oh, and that's what Daniel Ward needs to get back in his offensive rhythm.
He went for Trace Anderson. It seems that when they've attacked Trace Anderson tonight, they've had a little bit more success. So I'd like to see them continue going to that side of the court.
And that's quite surprising because usually the libero is the best passer. And they make Trace Anderson pass it again. Oh, and that just handcuffed Chad Morrison, and it will be another kill for who else but number 5.
You can't handle Carter Hill's power sometimes. It is just so incredibly lethal.
The Ooks have 12 kills on the night compared to only 3 for the Wolves. Will that go down? No, it will not. It will be an error, and the Ooks have now cut the lead back to 3.
They were looking for the line, just couldn't find it. And we're going to see another timeout here as the Wolves try to keep the Ooks from getting this lead. What was once an 8-point Wolves lead has gone down to 2 as the Ooks are following a similar script to last night and clawing their way back late in the first set to make it 21-19 as Daniel Ward serves.
Oh, and that is some incredible floor defense by Ward and Dufour.
Nice dig there.
Ward out of the back row. And that is just hit long. Oh, but that is an unfortunate net violation by the Ooks. I think that might have been Dufour or McIntyre. It gives the point back to the Wolves.
That was otherwise very excellently played. I do think the Wolves are a little bit lucky to come out of it with a point.
Because that would have been a point for the Ooks because that hit was wide from Justice Big Stone. But the NAIT net violation nullifies it. And that one's hit wide by Shea McIntyre.
Can't afford any more mistakes here if you're the Ooks.
And even though it's 23-19, Jordan Taylor will call a timeout to calm his team down. And the Ooks are currently down 19-23 as they look to regain some momentum at the end of this first set. I'm Ben Lone, I'm here with
Alex McFarland.
And Alex, what do you think the Wolves have been so successful at so far?
Just simply limiting their service errors, first of all, and also getting the Ooks to commit a bunch of their own.
As a perfect example as that, as the Wolves will now have a set point at 24-19.
If you look at it in the first and second sets, it was errors that really hurt the Wolves in those two sets. If they can keep it down throughout the game, their play last night and so far today has been warranting a very convincing win. And into the antenna.
And that will be a hitting error for Shane McIntyre, and the team and the Ooks will lose the set 19-25. The Wolves have a 1-0 lead. Make sure to stay with us for the second. And welcome back to the NAIT Gymnasium as we are at the start of the second set between the NAIT Ooks and Northwestern Polytechnic Wolverines, as the Wolves have a 1-0 lead over the Ooks.
Felix Dufour to serve first here for the Ooks, and let's see if that latter half momentum that they did start to build, if they can carry that over here into the second set.
And that is a nice swing by Shane McIntyre as he's using the block to his advantage.
Like to see Nate do more of that throughout the rest of the match. That's something that will be critical to them coming back if they want to win this game.
Shane McIntyre has been blocked a couple times when he goes low seam, but when he aims for those high hands, he has been really successful. Oh, and that was an incredibly good dump by Lane Matthews.
Almost didn't work out. That did hit the top of the net, but he managed to still get it down onto the side of the court and confuse the Ukes front line.
He got an extremely lucky graze. As Justice Big Stone, the year 3 middle, will go back to serve. And Cade Morrison uses the hands of Shane McIntyre for the point. And now going back to serve once again will be Justice Bakestone. The Ukes are having a little trouble in serve receive right now.
But they're not having any trouble in kills.
Shane McIntyre is doing a really good job cleaning up what's given. He had to get a desperate bump pass from Jay Spinney. He's able to see the court and put it where the Wolves defenders aren't. And that will be a Ukes point because Lane Matthews, I believe, is a back row player.
And so back row players aren't allowed to hit from the front line.
When you're a back row setter when you're a setter in the back row and you go up to try to save the set and your hand goes over, the refs will call it as a back row blocking situation.
That serve just goes a little bit long on the part of Jay Spinney.
And what do you think of Spinney in the second set? He was a little shaky in the start, but he seems like he's been able to even it out.
His service especially is really looking more confident with each growing attempt.
And Carter Hills is able to clean up whatever is given to him.
Even though the Ukes haven't been the greatest in serve receive, their kills are still going down. They're still finding ways to keep it going.
And now going back to the line will be Shane McIntyre, the year 4 outside hitter from Edmonton. Oh, and that was an incredible pancake, but it will rule that it was down, and it will be a Wolves point.
Everything they could to keep that going, and the shot that deflected off the tape on top of the net really mixed the Ukes up there.
And you could see Jared Krogan going to the ref stand to discuss the call. And Jared Krogan is the only player that is allowed to approach the refs since he is the team captain.
Being a 5th year makes sense as well.
And that one is wide by Ross Bishop. He has not had his best offensive night.
He hasn't really even been noticeable, and that's the concerning part.
I think he's just trying to go a little too cross court. Maybe go wrist away, and we'll see. Maybe if he can go wrist away, we can see what will happen.
An untimely service error there from Josh Dumont, who had a bunch of those in the first set last night, and the first set he'd like to forget.
Both the men and women's teams for Northwestern Polytechnic are great serving teams. They do not make too many errors. A nice pancake by Trace Anderson. And that was a nice looking swing as Josh Dumont tried to find some hands, but it just goes long for the error. Once again, going back to serve will be Ross Bishop. He's a year 4 middle from St. Albert. And that one's long.
A little bit too long, but if he can keep finding the rhythm they had on the first serve, that will definitely help his confidence throughout the rest of the game.
Even with the Ukes float servers, if they're able to take one step back, that might put their balls more in the court instead of them going long.
And they do manage to get that one off the hands of the Wolves block, which is something they need to keep doing here.
And Carter Hills leads the team in attempts taken, kills per set, and kills. So it's obvious that Jay Spady is going to go to him when he needs a much-needed side out. Bennett is dug by Grogan. Oh, and that was an incredibly smart move from Jad Morrison. He saw the ball hanging up there, and he took the opportunity to swing.
And it was a decent play by both teams there to add some trickery into their lineup there, trying to get both teams out of sync.
And look at that. It's Felix Dufour using the hands for the kill.
That might be the most terminal swing we've seen all match.
It might be. He's also doing a good job at attacking the hands of a late pressed Wolves blocker.
Daniel Ward to serve.
It eats up Caden Bennett, and he'll take the swing. And Shane McIntyre is able to split the seam in the block.
He had that lane open and just put it right there. I'd like to see the Ukes keep going towards the center of the court with that kind of authority. The lines haven't always been there, so they can focus on the middle. They could get a lot more kills that way.
Oh, and that was just a little bit of a mishit from Jared Krogan, but it will go down as a kill for number 15, Justice Bigstone.
And we'll see Caden Bennett serving here for the Wolves.
Oh, and Shane McIntyre is able to get it down.
He's coming alive here in the second set. Absolute lethal swing there.
The block was doing a great job at keying in on Shane McIntyre in the first set, but Shane McIntyre has been able to use his year 3 experience and start finding the seams in the block. That's what's really helped him get in the positive offensive numbers.
One just went too far left, and Hills wanted to go for it, but makes sure he stops up and lets that one drop.
Even though that was hit wide, that was an incredible one-handed set from Lane Matthews. I can't credit him enough. He has been an amazing setter this weekend. And that will go wide from Lane Matthews as he tries for the dump.
I think they were hoping that it would hit the Ukes' hands. It did not. We'll see a timeout here and be right back.
Just a young gun.
Have played so far, counting this current one in progress against Northwestern Polytechnic Wolves. This is looking to be their best start out of any of the 7 as they hold a 12-8 lead over the Wolves, who have characteristically been better in the early goings of sets. Let's see if the Ukes can keep it up.
And that is a nice big block to start off to come out of the timeout. I believe that's the first block of the match for the Ukes.
And that was Ross Bishop, no less, who's looking to get his game going here along with his team in the second set.
Ross Bishop hasn't had the best offensive night, but he is doing a good job getting block touches and stuffs. Oh, look at that save from Ward. And that was just a miss hit from Carter Hills.
in that position, you wonder if free ball or maybe even a dump might have been the better option, as Hills had to go a little bit out of sync to try and get that one.
I think a lighter shot or even a roll shot would have been a smarter choice. But I like how aggressive Carter Hills is trying to be.
Indeed.
And there you go. That's what Ross Bishop needs to get the kills.
Yeah, he is certainly coming alive, and I imagine seeing Carter Hills be amped up has kind of inspired Ross Bishop to really be reinvigorated. As we'll see the spinny serve come here.
And Jay Spinney looks mad at himself with that one.
He was on a really good service run a couple times there in the first set. Just that one did not want to work out for him.
If Jay Spinney's service game doesn't keep working out for him, do you think he should go to a jump float?
I would definitely look at it.
And down it goes for number 15, Shea McIntyre, as he hits a steamer from the right side.
He was player of the game for the Ukes last night, showing you why right now, as everything he touches is just hitting the Wolves side of the court with authority.
And what do you think of that swing from Josh Dumont? He has been doing a great job swinging from the right, the left, and the back.
He's having an all-around great night, and let's see if he can keep it up with the serves. His team needs him to be good if they want to win, and he has been better than good. He has been excellent.
Oh, and that was a straight down kill from Carter Hills. There could be nothing that Trey Sanderson could do, and Trey Sanderson has been a great libero.
He has been. When the Ukes are targeting him, they're actually, interestingly enough, having some more success. We noted that earlier, and it's still holding true, as you saw there.
It says it says on the roster that he is an outside, so I think he was a libero that just had to be. He was the outside that had to be converted to a libero because they needed one. And that will go down for number 9, Thomas Wheeler. He has been a consistent middle for the Wolves this weekend. Him and Big Stone have been doing a great job.
I don't think we've given Wheeler enough credit for the role he's played in the Wolves' success of making last night go to 5 sets and having them have a 1-0 lead here.
And Ward's able to get it down in the campfire for the kill.
And surely Jordan Taylor loves this. He's going to give a little bit of direction as the Ukes look to keep their momentum rolling.
What changes have you noticed between the Ukes in the first set and the Ukes now?
They just look much more, well, thank God I didn't say it yet because that would have been an announcer jinx. They look a bit more mistake-free, and they look a bit more in sync with their passes and kills.
But that serve will go out for Carter Hills as the Ukes have 8 service errors on the night.
He couldn't get the hit he wanted on that one. It just sailed a little bit on Daniel Ward.
Daniel Ward was trying to go for high hands, but I think at that point he was up high enough that a nice tip over the block I think could have suited him a little better.
And the Wolves give it right back to the Ukes with a service error.
And on service errors tonight, the Ukes have 8, while the Wolves have 4. Last night for the Ukes, at the end of the second set, they only had 7, and they're at 8, and they have 8 tonight, and we're not done the second set. And Big Stone was able to find the touch.
The Ukes were hoping they could get away with that one, but excellent play there by Big Stone to find the hands.
And now coming back into serve will be number 11, Joshua Watson.
He's been good on serve so far. Let's see if he can keep it up. He had a good run there in the first set.
And that is a smart placement by who else? Felix Jafor, the year 2 middle from Edmonton.
He is having one heck of a night, one heck of an afternoon here, just having his way with the front line on the Wolves side.
And with him only being a second year, he has 3 more seasons with the Ooks if he chooses to use them. And that was a shot that just went right into the net by, I believe, number 10, Josh Dumont. That will go down as an error.
You can see he wanted to just put it right down on the front line for the Ook side and just simply mishit it. Could not find the right strike. But I think they gave it to Northwestern anyways on a net violation.
And look at Jay Spinney. He is doing what he has to do. When a tight pass comes over, Spinney knows what to do with it.
And that time they make sure they avoid the net front error. That was probably what cost them that previous point.
I believe it was. They have had more net violations than usual. Oh, and that is a footfall for Jay Spinney.
We saw it in a game last week where he had multiple foot faults, and that's perhaps the one major drawback to the style of serve that he uses, is that opens that up.
I think he might want to start taking a step back. He doesn't let his serving game affect his setting game as he gives an incredible ball to Shea McIntyre.
He embarrassed Lane Matthews on that one, put him sitting down with the ball right in between his legs.
And on the season, Shea McIntyre has 154 kills and is hitting at a clip of 282, which is a really nice percent for an outside hitter. And that ball will go down as a kill for, I believe, number 17, Chad Morrison.
If the Wolves are to come back here and take the second set, Chad Morrison's going to be a huge reason why.
He has done a great job swinging from the left and especially from the right. He is a natural born opposite. And look at that wrist away from Ross Bishop.
He couldn't have timed or shot that one any better. That was just so perfect.
And now coming in to serve again will be Jeff Drieger. He's listed as a libero, but he did do some setting for the Ukes in the 4th set yesterday when they really were out of sync.
Could he argue that he was part of what stabilized the Ukes when they need it?
I would say he was. Oh, and that's a net violation on Carter Hills after trying to save the incredible dig from Jay Spinney.
And they otherwise did a good job of trying to save that. One interesting thing here is they're keeping Joshua Watson in. Previously in this game, they had mostly been using him for service, but now they're really relying on him to get them back into this one.
Caden Bennett just hasn't had his best offensive night, so I think they want to see if they can get a new look from that left side pin. A nice roll shot from Carter Hills puts the Wolves out of system. And Ward is able to crank the line shot, but it is unfortunately wide. That is an untimely error for Ward.
Now, if you're the Ukes, you gotta find a way to just move on from that point. You're close to the finish line in this set. Find a way to take it here.
And when you have those free ball opportunities given to you by the Wolves, it is necessary you convert, as that serve will go long. And now coming back to serve will be Carter Hills. Even though the Ukes have a 23-20 lead, this Northwestern Polytechnic team is not a team you can count out.
That's probably the main hazard of being a volleyball official, is that you could take a serve right to the side of the arm any day.
He looks like he was able to shake it off, though, just fine.
We'll see Chad Morrison serve now.
And now Carter Tuttle will come into set. He's a 5'11" year one setter from Grand Prairie. We haven't seen too much of him this year.
He did make an appearance last night, but again, mostly in a serving setting role.
Nice pass from Shea McIntyre. Even better kill from Carter Hills as he brings up set point at 24-21.
And it'll be Daniel Ward to serve here. This is going to be very interesting, and Carter Tuttle's stint here will only last one play. They'll bring in Lane Matthews, trying to keep the set going.
And if you're Ward in the Ukes right now, you have to keep the aggressive serve in the court. Nice coverage by Jared Krogan. Oh, I believe that might have hit the net, but the refs let it play on. Oh, and Shane McIntyre is able to end the set as the Ukes win it 25-21. We'll at least be going 4. Make sure you stay with us. And we are coming into the start of the third set between the NAIT Ukes and the Northwestern Polytechnic Wolves. The Wolves took the first set, and the NAIT and the Ukes took the second. So the third is up for grabs as the teams look to take a decisive 2-1 lead. Alex, who do you think it's more important to win this third set, the Wolves or the Ukes?
I would definitely say the Wolves, because right now the Ukes have the momentum, having taken the second set. You need to make sure they don't go on a tear here in the third.
And Carter Hills is able to get a smash down kill to start the set, and you could tell that he loves it.
He's been on fire the entire weekend and really the entire season. Just phenomenal play, and he shows that power night in, night out.
Oh, and look at that dump from Jay Spinney. A blocker has to keep him as an attacker when he's in the front row.
And what about the Wolves trying everything they could to save that ball after the Ukes caught them out of system?
I really love the hustle from Trace Anderson. Shea McIntyre is able to chicken wing his tip. Free ball will just have to be sent over. Oh, they'll run the back row to number 11, Joshua Watson. What do you think of his offensive performance tonight?
It certainly arrived now. They mostly kept him in earlier for serving and setting, but he shows he got that kill power there.
Lane Matthews goes back to the service line. The pass eats up Daniel Ward as Shea McIntyre just has to send over a free ball. And look at that great cross-court snap by Shea McIntyre. Alex, what do you think of that swing?
Shea McIntyre has been swinging well all night, and he's keeping it going here. What a perfect shot. Spinney back to serve here. It looks like he is taking a step back this time.
Let's see if that helps him. And unfortunately that doesn't, as he just wasn't able to get a good hand contact on him, which will give him the error. And now going back to serve will be number 10, Josh Dumont, the year 3 outside from Grand Prairie, Alberta.
He's been serving pretty well tonight and looking to keep that rolling.
And that serve will go just long as that goes down as a jinx for you.
I think so far you're jinx free though. That's the more impressive thing.
Knock on wood. And now back to the service line is number 15, Shea McIntyre.
Ooh, that was a mishit there from Dumont, and a little head shake afterward. He did not like how that one came off his hands.
And I love the serve that both outsides, Daniel Ward and Shea McIntyre have. It's quite a flat jump floater, which has a lot of movement on it. So when a passer thinks they have their platform ready, it can just dive just like that on an instant. And it's 2 aces back-to-back for Shea McIntyre.
Trace Anderson, he's been having a really good offensive night, but I don't think it's translated fully to the defense side yet.
Nice pass from Sanderson. Oh, and that is one of the best kills we've seen from Big Stone this weekend.
That one absolutely froze Jared Krogan, and Jared Krogan doesn't freeze very often.
Not at all. He has been a stone cold libero this year for the Ukes.
We'll see the serve coming from Big Stone.
Serve eats up Shea McIntyre. And it will go down as an ace for Justice Big Stone. Give him 5 on the weekend.
Spinney almost kept that one alive somehow, and I was sure that play was dead.
He has both aces tonight for the Wolves. And Carter Hills is able to get the touch for the kill.
They needed that one as they managed to hang on to the lead. The Wolves were starting to get a little bit of their rhythm back, and for the Ukes, it's key to not let them get into any sort of group tonight.
Oh, and that was an incredible swing from number 17, Chad Morrison. That just ate up Daniel Ward in left back.
Nothing Ward could do about that one. So powerful of a kill.
And we are early in this first set, and we are early in this third set, 7-5, as number 17, Chad Morrison, will go back to serve. And that smartly taken, smartly left by the Ukes defense, as the Ukes now have an 8-5 lead.
I don't feel like there's been too many errors in this third set. It's actually been pretty good back and forth.
It has been quite clean volleyball from both teams. And that's just in the middle of the net from number 11, Joshua Watson.
Do you feel like they might sub someone back on at some point here for the Wolves?
They might. They just need to find a nice constant in the left side. Yesterday we saw number 3, Brandon Steele, come in and have a great offensive night. Sam Tuvai might want to bring him in.
And look at that block there, double team there from Lane Matthews and Thomas Wheeler. And Thomas Wheeler having a good night.
He is having a great night.
As it looks like we'll have a timeout.
And the Ooks are currently doubling up the Wolves in score right now as they lead 10-5 early at the midway point of this third set as Carter Hills is at the back line. And that was a great kill from number 9, Thomas Wheeler, out of the middle. And one special shout out that we want to give is to his dad, Rodney, and his granddad, Cyril, who are watching all the way in Australia right now. Thanks for staying up to whatever time it is in Australia, because I know the time difference weird.
And definitely in his 5th year, he likes to have as much family as possible watching.
And from me and Alex, I just want to say, your son is an incredible middle blocker.
Without a doubt. And an awesome personality, too.
I completely agree with you. Great player and great person. What can you not have?
See the serve coming here from Daniel Ward.
Oh, and Shane McIntyre is stuffed straight down by Thomas Wheeler. He has not been able to get Shane McIntyre recently, but he stuffed up his cross-court shot.
And earlier it looked like they had a block that could have gone for a point there, but it was ruled a kill by Daniel Ward. An excellent play there to just keep sticking with the block if it's working well, and they'll get the results they desire.
Wheeler was set, number 10, and he gets the kill. What a swing by Josh Dumont as he goes high hands.
I think the Wolves are finally finding their rhythm after that timeout, wouldn't you agree?
I would agree with you. And Lane Matthews is also setting a lot better of a match. He is connecting a lot better with his hitters and especially his left sides. Oh, and what do you think of that? Jay Spinney can do it from any facet.
He showed that one a lot last night as that just subtle dump right into the middle of the court always catches teams off guard, it seems.
And with that jump by Jay Spinney, that makes the Ooks 30. That makes it the Ooks' 30th kill of the game.
We're only in the 3rd set.
And that's just in the middle of the net from number 15, Justice Bakestone.
You can see he is trying to go around the block there, and it's usually like he is money on making those shots. Just that one time could not work out for him.
He's been having a great night offensively and defensively. That was just a little bit of a mishit for him. Oh, and what do you think of that roll shot? That was an incredible campfire shot by number 10.
The amazing awareness of Josh Dumont on that one to realize that would have been his best chance.
Number 10, Josh Dumont, was making some s'mores with that shot right there. And Ross Bishop is stuffed in the middle by Justice Bigstone.
He is running into a wall there with the Wolves block and really not having his greatest night contending with it.
The Wolves block was on fire with 5 blocks in the first set, but to my stats, they had none in the second. So so the block is something they really need to start getting again if they want to get back in this match, as Shane McIntyre once again gets the kill.
And we'll see a sub come in here as I'll bring Jay Spinney out and put Jeff Drieger in for another serving role. Jay Spinney, last couple serves haven't gone his way, so I don't mind this decision here.
That's a smart decision by Jordan Taylor. As he gets a shank off the libero, Trey Sanderson, and Jordan Taylor's decision paid off.
Just has not been Jeff Sanderson's night. Trey Sanderson's night. Oh.
Give him another ace. That is 2 in a row.
Showing why they love him here on this in this serving role.
See if they target Sanderson again. They do, and he puts up a good pass. Then what do you think of that little roll by Justice Bigstone?
That was a perfect one. I like to see them incorporate that just a little bit more often.
And with that kill from Justice Bigstone, according to my stats, the Wolves have 20 kills on the night. And that was a great seam serve by Lane Matthews.
Yeah, Daniel Ward has mercy on that one.
And that was a great, that was a great serve by, Josh Dumont. He was able to find the seam between Jared Krogan and Daniel Ward and exploit it.
We'll see another serve here.
Oh, and what do you think of the change-up of shots by the Wolves? They're doing a great job at mixing up their attacks.
That was a clever idea there, realizing they couldn't get it around the Ukes block on the left side, so instead shifting it over to the right to catch the Ukes out of system.
Oh, and that is a straight down stuff from Ross Bishop. He is electrifying.
I'd like to see them figure out a bit of a way to use Ross Bishop's block to their advantage, get it off his hands and out of bounds potentially, but right now he is just owning them on the block.
Oh, that might have been an ace, but it was ruled out it was up. Play will continue. And play won't when Carter Hill says so, as he gets it, kill.
If it doesn't go your way the first time, just make sure it goes your way the second time.
Carter Hills is the definition of try, try, try again.
McIntyre serve again here. We're seeing a little bit of a discussion there beforehand.
And that serve will drop in the back corner for an ace. The Wolves are out of sync right now.
And the Ukes serving game in this third set is arguably at its best point of the entire weekend.
I would agree with you. They have 5 aces in this set. Oh, and that's another straight down stuff. And Carter Hills is excited. This is the biggest lead we've seen of the match, as it is 20-13.
Bishop and Hills are just on fire right now, and we'll see a substitution as a result.
And let's see what the year one setter, Carter Tuttle, is able to do. He's 5'11" from Grand Prairie, and he has, when he's had to come in and set, he's been doing a nice job.
We're also going to see a new libero here on the Wolves side. Coda Dunfield's going to come in, as Trey Sanderson has not had the best night.
That's a smart decision from Sam Tavai, because as Alex said, Trace Anderson was not having the best passing night. And that is just hit wide by number 9, Ross Bishop.
But I like thought process there, going wide and really trying for that back line. And we'll see another swap here as Justice Big Stone goes back to serve.
The Ooks seemed like they were just trying to press a little too hard on that one. And that ball will go long from Justice Big Stone, I mean, and the Ooks will have a 21-14 lead.
Big Stone's serve game is kind of dipped a little bit by the looks of it. This third set, he just hasn't been able to find the same rhythm.
Oh, that was a nice serve by Ross Bishop, and an even better smash down kill by Daniel Ward, but give the credit to Ross Bishop.
Yeah, the credit to Ross Bishop, and as I like to say in basketball with a layup off the glass, that's easy money.
It won't go down as an ace for Bishop, but it was basically one. And that will go in for I believe that was number 11.
He targeted Joshua Watson there, and that was a statement of sorts to say, if you want to target me, I'll show you just how much power I have in my kill.
But Joshua Watson has been doing a great job off the bench. And did he get the line? No, he did not, as Daniel Ward just hits it wide.
By the narrowest of margins, but the Ukes still have a 6-point lead, so that was definitely the right kind of play to go for.
But even though they do have a lead of 6 points against a team like the Wolves, you cannot. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile.
Felix Dufour with an assist there as they get the antenna straightened out.
And that serve will go long to take the Ooks 2 points away from a possible 2-1 lead.
There's an interesting thing. We have not seen a whole lot of Galen Donaghy in this season, but he is going to come on now and serve.
I believe this might be the first action we've seen from him.
I like that he's finally getting a rep here as they have a healthy lead.
Shea McIntyre comes steaming out of the back row to set up a set point.
That's got to be a confidence builder as well for Donaghy that they got that specific point on his serve.
And now we'll see Quinn Howard coming in. Number 13, he's a year 1 outside hitter from Whitehorse, Yukon. Oh, and that was just mistimed by Jared Krogan, but it will go down as a kill for Joshua Watson.
And to serve now will be Watson himself after getting the kill. He's had really good serve and a really good offensive night.
And that will go out. And the Ooks take the third set, 25-17, and take a 2-1 lead. Make sure you stay with us for the fourth.
Despite dropping the first set of this match here, the NAIT Ooks have taken the last two against the Northwestern Polytechnic Wolves and look to close it out here in the fourth set. It will be NAIT to serve momentarily here, and we have seen some changes throughout the match, and we'll see how cohesive those changes are moving forward.
And going back to serve will be number 11, Felix Dufour, who can go on multitudes of service runs. And that was just a miss hit from number 11, Joshua Watson. You don't want to be starting a set off with an error.
And especially not from someone who's been so helpful, so critical to your performance this afternoon.
Oh, a nice one-handed save by Felix Dufour. Creates the overpass. Oh, and look at that fake set from Jay Spinney to just set up some butter to Shane McIntyre.
And Felix Dufour is just doing it all, not only on offense and serving, but also keeping the ball alive in a situation like that. Perfect overball, too.
Jay Spinney has been a little rocky at times in this game, but he's been doing a great job setting. Smart move by Shane McIntyre, realizing the situation. Oh, and that will be a point for the Wolves.
It did go underneath the net by the looks of it off the Ooks player. They could not keep that one over.
But that was a great just one by Justice Bigstone.
They need him to have a really good fourth set here if they want to force fifth.
Oh, and that was a really nice kill for Justice Bigstone. We mentioned that his service game hasn't been the best, but he must have heard us because he has turned it on offensively. And now back to serve once again will be the year 5 setter, Lane Matthews. And unfortunately, that goes right in the middle of the net and that will be the 10th service error on the night for the Wolves.
Worth noting that, again, it was errors that cost the Wolves last night. We've seen the uptick throughout the second, third, and now the fourth sets, but it is the Ooks that are making their own breaks like that.
A nice serve by Jay Spinney allows Ross Bishop to just put it down.
That was a perfect play, too. Like, didn't even need to let it come over onto your side of the court.
And once again,
just put it right down at front.
And once again, it won't go down as an ace for Spinney, but it's basically one for him.
And that's a confidence builder, too, with his serve game dipping off in the third set.
And that is a nice tool from number 17, Chad Morrison, the lefty.
As a rule, it does go off the Ooks player and out of bounds.
He's been doing, Chad Morrison has been doing a good job at using the Ooks' hands when they aren't fully pressed over and in the court. And that will go out for an Ooks point.
Certainly a serve that Watson might like to have back. You know he was targeting that back corner there.
The service errors are starting to creep back up for the Wolves as they have 11 on the night and NAIT has 12. So it's quite even in that category. Great cover by Jared Krogan. An even better kill by Carter Hills.
That was perfect awareness, realizing it was going to go over the front line, but not by too much. Just comes up subtly behind them to put it back up in the air and give them more time to regroup.
And Shane McIntyre is on a 2-0 run with his jump float serve. Oh, and that was a straight down stuff back into Chad Morrison's chest.
9 and 6 are combining to equal perfection right now on that block.
And even if Ward hasn't had his best offensive night, he has been doing a great job blocking this afternoon. The serve receive is really breaking down for the Wolves.
as they send that ball out of bounds long.
The errors are really starting to pile up. Do you think Sam Tavai might go to his bench?
He might call a timeout, and it looks like that's what he's going to do. Past couple sets, the Ukes have really looked like themselves as they have gotten off to strong starts. It is no different here. An 8-3 lead in the fourth set as they lead the game 2-1 with Shea McIntyre serving.
And Shea McIntyre has been doing a great job serving tonight as he's able to paint the ace. The line for an ace is his third ace of the night.
He is on one heck of a service run right now. Let's see how long he can keep this up.
And that was a nice run set behind, but unfortunately, Justice Big Stone just couldn't convert.
This is an insane run the Ukes are on right now. They just cannot be stopped.
And the run continues as number 10, Josh Dumont, is stuffed on the left side.
Ross Bishop has been involved in almost every block for the Ukes so far tonight. It is just his bread and butter.
And now coming in will be number 4, Caden Bennett. He started the match off a little shaky, and he hasn't played in the last 2 or 3 sets. So let's see what he's able to do now that he's thrust into the game as their team is down by 8. And that serve will go long from Shea McIntyre.
But that's a forgivable error as Shea McIntyre was on a really hot service run. He's given his team a healthy lead.
He has.
Might Shea McIntyre be the player of the game for a second straight night?
He could be, but we'll have to see how the rest of the match plays out. And that ball will go wide from number 6, Daniel Ward. The errors are starting to slightly creep back in.
If you're the Ukes, you gotta find a way to avoid those. When you have such a healthy lead, you want to see it through right to the end as fast as you can.
Oh, and that was an incredible tip from Carter Hills. It was a tight set. He was just able to flick it off the fingers.
It looked like they targeted Caden Bennett, who had come in and is already getting the attention of the Ukes players here.
He is, completely. Wheeler's dug. And Carter Hills is not.
Carter Hills on fire as he always has been. Nothing can stop that kind of power.
He has been electric offensively tonight, and a timeout will be called by Sam Tavai. Make sure And the Northwestern Polytechnic Wolves are looking for a regroup as they are down by 8 points and need to win the set in order to force a fifth. They'll go to the right side. Oh, and that was an incredible one-handed stab by number 3, Jay Spinney. Jay Spinney's brought back. Carter Hills is brought back. Daniel Ward will just have to roll it over.
They managed to keep it in.
Oh, and that was just a little bit of an unfortunate miss hit for Shane McIntyre.
And already Coda Dunfield, who came in off the bench, is showing why they trust him right now, as that was an excellent keep-in to get the Ukes out of system.
He has been quite a solid libero for the Wolves tonight with his limited playing time. And Carter Hills is able to tool the hands of I believe that was number 4 for the kill.
Keep targeting Caden Bennett. That's been their success so far in the fourth set. It hasn't been all the success, but they have targeted him a couple times and they've had kills that way.
And that serve that goes long by Carter Hills, I just want to mention from his previous attack, Carter Hills and the rest of the NAIT Ukes are at 40 kills on the night.
Incredible run they're playing together, and when you're getting that many kills in just 3 or 4 sets, that's a testament to how well you're playing, not that you're getting points given to you.
It just shows the offensive firepower that this team has. Ward's block is brought back. Oh, and Shane McIntyre gets a great kill out of the back row. The Ukes were behind in the point, and Shane McIntyre is able to put them ahead.
What a play there. And I want to shout out that the Wolves actually stuck with it as Jay Spinney tried to catch them by playing the ball over on 2 again. That time they managed to hang in there.
It was a great pancake dig by Coda Dunfield. Oh, and that was an incredibly smart tip by Shane McIntyre as he saw the ball was up in the air.
And draws the double contact call.
And
Coda Dunfield, though, like you said, again, they're trying to save it with the pancake dig. He is really good at that.
And now it is 16-7. It is the largest lead of the night. Or the afternoon, I should say. And that ball is up from Carter Hills. Oh, and that is a great soft block from number 11, Joshua Watson and Thomas Wheeler. You know Rodney and Cyril are proud of their kid.
Heck yes, that was dominant.
And now number 3, Carone Gregson, the 6'7" middle, will come in to serve.
Number 13 here, and we didn't see him last night, so this is going to be interesting to see how he performs coming into such a crucial situation in the game.
It'll be his first action of the weekend. And he puts in a great serve. He almost had the ace. Oh, and that was just a misstep from Jared Kogan. Shane McIntyre could do nothing with his left hand with that one.
He tried everything he could, though, and Shane McIntyre will not let his team lose.
And now going back to serve will be number 13.
Corum Gregson.
Oh, and Shane McIntyre is stuffed straight down. The block is starting to key in on him once again.
He was stuffed 3 times in that point. At some point, you gotta wonder if the Ukes are going to shift away from that block and look to other options for kills.
And that will be the 9th block on the set for the Wolves. One more, and they're in double figures. And that just goes in the middle of the tape for Carone Gregson.
But you have to imagine getting the earlier 2 points does build some confidence for him moving forward the rest of the season.
It must have.
We'll see Dufour serve here.
The block was going out, but number 12 played it.
Double contact.
And the Ooks are firing on all cylinders as their block is as they get a block solo stuff from Ross Bishop.
Ross Bishop might even be player of the game solely on the blocks he's putting up all throughout the afternoon. It's been wild.
And that is the 7th block of the set for the Ooks, as Felix Dufour unfortunately just puts it a little short.
A little bit too much float, not enough serve.
And that'll be the 15th service error on the afternoon for the Ooks.
Take those away, and they could easily have ended this game by now.
And Carter Hills comes steaming out of the back row, and it will be a point for the Ooks off a net violation. I believe that was on Justice Bigstone.
It was either him or Joshua Watson. I know Watson gave a pretty surprised look towards the sideline.
I just saw a grimace come on the face of, come from the face of Justice Bigstone. And now coming into serve and set will be number 17, Jeff Drieger, the year 5 libero setter from Calgary.
That shot will go out of bounds off the hands of Chad Morrison.
And Lane Matthews has been doing a really good job setting tonight, but he just hasn't been able to connect with his hitters as often. And now we will have Tony Kumbone, the year 1 outside from Prince George, coming into play for the first time this weekend. Oh, that was an incredible shoulder save from Carter Hills.
Free ball sent over.
Drieger will set Hills. Oh, and Hills is able to put it down. That was an electric kill, one of his best of the night.
The best of the night. What a potent shot.
And I just want to give credit to Jeff Drieger. That was an incredible back set. He set Carter Hills up for complete success.
And the free ball sent over by Jared Krogan earlier in that point.
Oh, and look at that swing from number 2, Tony Kumbone. He is showing that he deserves his time on the court.
He has arrived with a statement.
And now Jay Spinney will come back in to set.
But Jeff Drieger does his job and gets the Ukes that much closer to a 4th set victory.
And Daniel Ward is able to get it down in the left back to give the Ukes their 22nd point of the set, extend the lead to 10.
They're showing right now what they can do when they are on their game. You can make the case that their game wasn't fully there the first match of this weekend and the first 2 sets of today, but the last 2 they just have dominated.
They have completely. And that was just a miss hit by Tony Kumbone, and it will go down as an error.
The Ukes 2 points away here from ending the match.
And now Quinn Howard, number 13, the year 1 outside hitter from Whitehorse, will come back in.
Looks like he's going to serve and build a little more confidence potentially with his team up by a considerable margin.
Oh, that was a nice looking save from Kumbone, but unfortunately hit the roof. And Quinn Howard will get an ace, which will set up match point.
As they are doubling up the Wolves in the set 24-12 here.
And now Ben Kieser will come in, the year 1 middle for St. Albert, and this is some of the first action we've seen from him this year. The serve creates the overpass. Where does Spinney go? It goes
Ben
to Kieser. And Kieser gets the ball down for his first kill of the season to end the match. The last set goes to 25-12, and the Ukes win the game 3 sets to 1. Alex, who are your players of the game for both teams?
Well, for Northwestern Polytechnic, I would definitely have to say it's going to be Joshua Watson, who put in an excellent performance coming off the bench, gave them every chance to win. And for the Ukes, second night in a row, I want to go with Shea McIntyre.
I completely agree with you on both of those choices. And now let's tune in to see who they are.
announced today's players of the game. The elite promotional marketing player of the game for the Northwestern Polytechnic Wolves is number 15, Justice Big Stone. The Boston Pizza player of the game for your NAIT Mooks is number 3, Jace Spinney.
So number 15, Justice Big Stone, and number 3, Jay Spinney are your players of the game for their respective teams.
What a weekend of volleyball action here in the gym, and the Ooks come away with all 4 victories.
And from Ben Lowon and
Alex McFarland,
I would like to say thank you for spending your Saturday afternoon with us. We will have games next Friday as NAIT will verse Concordia at Concordia. Have a great Saturday.